Welcome to my channel where every moment tells a story. Let's uncover history together. Today I'm going to tell you World War's darkest secrets revealed. So let's jump in this video. World War II. A global firestorm of destruction. A conflict that reshaped nations, redrew borders, and changed humanity forever. But despite thousands of documentaries and books, there are still countless stories, facts, and truths that most people have never heard. Today, you will hear the World War II that is rarely told. The secret missions, the strange coincidences, the hidden political deals, the forgotten heroes, and the unbelievable events that sound like fiction but are absolutely true. This is the untold side of World War II. Chapter 1. The War Before the War. Most people think World War II began on 1 September 1939, when Germany invaded Poland. But the truth is, the war's roots started years earlier, in political deals, secret plans, and forgotten battles. 1. Japan invaded China before World War II officially started. In 1937, Japan launched a massive invasion of China, known as the Second Sino-Japanese War. This conflict alone killed 25 million Chinese civilians, more than any European country lost in the entire war. Many historians consider this the real beginning of World War II, but it is rarely taught that way. 2. Germany's secret deal with the Soviet Union. Most people know Nazi Germany hated communism, but few know that in 1939, Hitler and Stalin signed a secret pact, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Agreement, dividing Eastern Europe between them. While the world expected them to be enemies, they secretly agreed to help each other. 3. The world tried to avoid the war and made it worse. Britain and France followed a policy called appeasement, letting Hitler annex parts of Europe, hoping he would stop. But Hitler saw this weakness as an opportunity. Appeasement did not prevent war, it accelerated it. Chapter 2. Weapons and technology unknown to many. 4. The terrifying Ghost Army of the United States. One of the strangest military units in history was the U.S. 23rd Headquarters Special Troops. Their mission? Trick the Germans using inflatable tanks, fake radio chatter, and Hollywood sound effects. They created entire fake divisions that fooled German intelligence. It was war. 5. The Nazi Sun Gun Project. The Nazis designed a plan for a space-based superweapon, a giant orbital mirror that would focus sunlight into a destructive beam. It sounds like science fiction, but it was recorded in German scientific documents. 6. Britain's radar gave them an invisible advantage. Radar wasn't just a technology, it was the secret reason Britain survived the Battle of Britain. But to hide their advantage, British officials spread a fake story. Our pilots can see better because they eat carrots. This is where the myth about carrots improving eyesight began. 7. Secret codebreakers at Bletchley Park. While soldiers fought on land, a silent war happened in an English mansion. Mathematician Alan Turing cracked the Nazi Enigma cipher, shortening the war by 4 years. Yet, for decades, this remained classified. An invisible victory that saved millions of lives. Chapter 3. Human stories most people never hear. 8. The man who survived both atomic bombs. Tsutomu Yamaguchi, a Japanese engineer, survived Hiroshima, traveled to Nagasaki to warn his company, and survived the second bomb too. He lived until 93 years old. 9. The soldier who refused to surrender for 29 years. Hiroo Onoda, a Japanese officer, kept fighting in the Philippine jungle until 1974 because he thought World War II was still going on. The war ended, but nobody told him. 10. The girl who saved a generation of children. Irena Sendler, a Polish social worker, smuggled 2,500 Jewish children out of the Warsaw Ghetto. She used ambulances, fake IDs, and even sewer pipes. She wrote their real names on tiny scraps of paper and buried them in jars. hoping one day the children would be reunited with their families. She was caught, tortured, and sentenced to death, but escaped and continued her work. A true hero the world barely remembers. Chapter 4. The Strangest Moments of the War. 11. The Whistle That Fell from the Sky. When the Stuka dive bomber attacked, it wasn't only the bomb that terrified people. The Nazis installed a siren on the plane, called the Jericho trumpet. It produced a horrifying scream during dives, designed specifically to psychologically break civilians. 12. When Britain tried to turn Churchill into a superhero, the Ministry of Information actually commissioned artists to produce posters showing Churchill as a muscular, cape-wearing warrior to boost morale. The posters were never released, judged too silly. 13. The world's most unlucky submarine. The British submarine HMS Trout sank after being hit by its own torpedo. The weapon malfunctioned, turned around, and came back to destroy the submarine that launched it. A tragic engineering failure. 14. Hitler's nephew fought against him. William Patrick Hitler, Adolf Hitler's nephew, hated his uncle so much that he moved to the United States and joined the U.S. Navy to fight the Nazis. This is one of history's strangest family betrayals. Chapter 5. Secret Operations. 15. Operation Mincemeat, the plot that saved thousands. The British needed to mislead the Germans about an upcoming invasion, so they created an elaborate plan. They found a dead man, dressed him as a British officer, and planted fake invasion documents on him. The body washed up on shore in Spain. The Germans recovered the secret papers, believed they were authentic, and moved their troops away. The real invasion succeeded with fewer casualties. 16. Operation Pastorius, Nazi Spies in America. In 1942, German submarines dropped off Nazi agents on American beaches. Their plan: blow up factories, railroads, and bridges. But one spy turned himself in, and the entire mission collapsed. 17. Operation Vegetarian, a plan too horrifying to use. Britain once considered dropping anthrax-infected animal cakes over Germany's farmland. This would have rendered large parts of Germany uninhabitable for decades. The plan existed, but was never executed due to its catastrophic consequences. 18. The race to steal Nazi scientists. As Germany collapsed, the US and USSR fought a silent race. Not for land, but for German scientists. The U.S. captured more than 1,600 scientists, including Wernher von Braun, through Operation Paperclip. These scientists later helped build NASA and the American space program. Meanwhile, the Soviets took the rest. The space race began with the aftermath of war. Chapter 6. Economics and Resources. The Invisible Battle. 19. Germany almost won the war by using drug-enhanced soldiers. German troops frequently used Pervitin, a methamphetamine-based stimulant. This made soldiers stay awake for days, march longer, and fight harder. Entire blitzkrieg operations depended on soldiers staying awake unnaturally long. 20. The world ran out of rubber. When Japan captured Southeast Asia, the Allied forces lost most of the world's natural rubber supply. The U.S. had to invent synthetic rubber in an emergency. Without this invention, Allied tanks, jeeps, and planes would literally have no wheels or tires. 21. Britain was only weeks from starvation. German submarines sank so many supply ships that by 1942, the UK had only 6 weeks of food left. The Battle of the Atlantic, not fought on land, decided whether Britain lived or died. Chapter 7. The end no one expected. 22. Stalin was planning a war after the war. Declassified Soviet documents reveal that Stalin was preparing for a future conflict with the West. Soviet armies were expanding, preparing for more confrontation. But the atomic bomb changed everything. 23. The Emperor of Japan wanted peace long before 1945. Secret diary entries show that Emperor Hirohito discussed surrender months before the atomic bombs. But military leaders refused. Japan was internally divided, and millions paid the price. Conclusion: World War II was not simply a conflict fought with guns and tanks. It was a war of intelligence, technology, psychology, secret deals, and human resilience. Behind every major battle, there were untold stories. Behind every nation, there were forgotten heroes. Behind every victory, there were hidden sacrifices. And behind the history we know lies a far deeper, stranger, and more powerful truth. The war shaped the world we live in today, and its unknown stories remind us how fragile and how extraordinary humanity truly is. This was World War II, the Untold Chapter. Hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Your support brings the next video to life.